Can you beat Halo 3 with only turrets? Only God knows the answer to that, and probably people with Tourette's. And since I'm neither a god nor a Tyrannosaurus Rex, I decided to beat Halo 3 with only turrets. There's no cooler way to send the Covenant to meet the Angels than by tearing an oversized gun from its tripod and ripping through aliens the same way Taco Bell tears apart my colon. Before we get started, I would discuss rules, but that bores me, so if you really want to know every little detail, then pause the video right now and behold my turret-only commandments. Also, take note that what I consider turrets are mounted weapons, such as the turrets in vehicles, or turrets that can be dismounted and used mobily, such as the chaingun, the plasma turret, the missile pod turret, and yeah, that's it. And sadly, that means I won't be using flamethrowers, even though they may look like a turret. Starting off, I knew I wouldn't be getting a turret until a later section of the level, unless I was lucky enough for this turret to be shot off of the Phantom, but when I woke up this morning, I grabbed a stray black cat by the hind legs and used it to break my bathroom mirror, and then I proceeded to dab 13 times under a ladder, so my luck wasn't that good. Taking that into consideration, my priority was just getting to the first turret without dying, and that was challenging enough. Within 9 minutes of repeated deaths, I finally laid eyes on that sexy 3-barreled 7.62 by 51mm fed 600 rounds per minute stationary portable death machine. I politely asked this grunt to fuck off, so he let me use the turret, and then he did nothing while I gunned down his teammates. Once I saw the Phantom, I made sure to shoot the plasma turret off so I could use it on the enemies that would inevitably have to die for me to continue through the mission safely. So I became a fish, I grabbed the turret, I killed a fellow fish, and I gotta say, there's nothing more satisfying than burning down a horde of enemies with a fully automatic, superheated plasma-fed 600 rounds per minute Type 52 directed energy support weapon. It makes you really feel like a true number 3 on the badass tier list. I finished off the enemies, Arby cleared the sniper jackal forest for me, and then we reached the hardest part in the level. Even though I saved my ammo specifically for this part, it wasn't nearly enough to kill everyone here, so I made it a priority to kill the sniper jackals before I killed anyone else. And this is because, for obvious reasons. Also, the Arbiter normally gets bored of dying, so he comes back to life, but for some reason he permadies here, so he couldn't help me with this part. I also tried running past everyone, but it was impossible. But like Mama used to say, the best defense is a damn good offense. So I shot down the sniper jackals, I used up the rest of my turret on these boys, and then I ran for my life. If it wasn't for the bubble shields, I would have definitely died here, but luckily they were everywhere. So then I finally made it to the final section. There's no turrets here, so I just focused on saving Johnson as fast as possible, so it would trigger the Pelican to come and save the day. So I freed him, but unfortunately, a brute chieftain joined the party too. So I ran away like a little pussy, and the sergeant grabbed the one weapon that the chieftain is invincible to. Admittedly, I was too scared to relay this information to him, so I waited here while Johnson was reduced to mincemeat. The Pelican killed everyone, I hopped in it, and I beat the first mission. If I had chosen to play on normal difficulty, this part would have been super easy, but no, I had to go and play on heroic like a fucking clown and repeatedly die here for 45 minutes. It must have been the bad luck I accumulated in my morning routine, but finally I made it to the hangar in one piece. The objective of this mission is to kill some aliens and help everyone escape the base, and that brings me to the first hangar, where some turrets are located. And this part is just way too easy because I have enough time to shoot the turrets off of the Phantoms, and then I can instantly kill the aliens who are looking forward to making a name for themselves. From their perspective, this is what a space ranger would consider wasted years of academy training. From here, the mission is too easy because it's literally filled with turrets, so I took the turret with me to take out the drones, and once I killed them all, there's a fresh turret to grab, which I then used to kill the Planet of the Apes motherfuckers in the next room. The main boy I was after was the chieftain, because once he dies, the exit door opens. Unfortunately, I lost all of my bullets within the brute's corpses, so when I reunited with the Arbiter, I enacted Operation Hide in the Air Ducts like a bitch. I did this until he killed the brute chieftain because this dude has a plasma turret that I can use. I helped kill the brutes in this hangar section, and then I got to the hallway with 6 turrets, so even a blind man could see what happened here. Harry Potter lent me his invisibility cloak so I could epically disarm the bomb, but within 10 seconds he Akio'd it away from me, but that's fine because I hopped on the elevator and beat the mission. Seeing that this is the second shortest mission in the game, and it only takes about 10 minutes to beat, I don't really feel like talking about it. Pretty much all you need to know is I drove past basically everyone in the mission, except for the enemies here, so I could grab a plasma turret and break this thing, and the enemies at the end, because I have to kill them to end the mission. When I do that, I grab this boy's turret, I use the turret to destroy the shield, I walk through a warthog because fuck you, I wanna walk here, and with that, I beat the mission. By the way, if you guys are enjoying the video, then go ahead and consider leaving a like, a comment, and subscribing. The first mission with the Scarab. Whoa, don't be shy, Mr. Driver. You'll probably be dead before you even see it. I felt bad for the Covenant, considering the crazy car was coming to town. We had a driver that had social anxiety, a bald guy, and a super soldier who had schizophrenia, and probably Tourette's. The only turret at my disposal right now was the Warthog turret, so I manned the gun until I killed all the enemies in our immediate vicinity, I detached the turret from the Phantom, and then I destroyed the AA Wraith after I abandoned my incompetent teammates. Destroying the Wraith was too dangerous, so I grabbed the turret that I shot off earlier, I wasted it by trying to destroy the Wraith, and then I found a new turret in the next room, which I used to kill the enemies, and I brought it to the next section for backup ammo against the Scarab. However, the Scarab was a stubborn boy, and it didn't want to succumb to the missile pod turret, so I had to enact Operation Big Green Suppository Pill. I had to infiltrate the Scarab's metaphorical colon and tear apart the insides, so I grabbed my decolinator, I boarded the Scarab in style, I killed some monkeys, and I shredded the Scarab's butthole. Also, it dropped a fresh plasma turret. After the Scarab part, I had 5 turrets to use from here until the end of the mission, so I wasn't that conservative with my ammo, just as long as I had a turret to finish off the giant AA gun at the end of the mission. I also had a buttload of teammates helping me out, so I easily killed everyone who got in my way, but considering how intelligent my enemies were, it wasn't that great of a feat. Anyway, I gunned down the enemies, I used the turret to destroy the AA gun, the flood attack, and with that, the mission ends. Mission 5 is the shortest mission in the game. It takes 5 minutes to beat, and you can run past literally every enemy. So fuck this mission, let's talk about mission 6. 80% of this mission is vehicle focused, and 100% of those sections is boring as fucking fuck, because my allies and I just took turns between driving and being the gunner, and since they really suck at both, I kept dying. But there was never anything noteworthy happening during these sections, so I'm not even gonna discuss them. Instead, I'll talk about the first part, the Scarab, and the facility at the end of the mission. When Master Chief woke up this morning, I bet he had no clue he would be blessed with 3 plasma turrets right from the get-go. He may be a schizophrenic whack job, but he definitely wasn't hallucinating hosing down space monkeys with plasma, as weird as that sounds. And when one of the turrets ran out of ammo, I could just grab another one and keep the killing spree coming. I was even able to bring the 3rd turret with me to this section, which I definitely needed, because just like people who use TikTok, my teammates were absolutely useless, non-contributing zeros. They just stood around while I did all of the work to get us transportation. So then there's the whole vehicle section, which is self-explanatory, and then I have to fight Lord Scarab, warper of space and time. The punishment for fighting him is converting into a windmill. Unfortunately for him, I have a M68 semi-automatic 119 by 55 by 85 inch magnetic accelerator cannon, or in simple terms, a gauze cannon. So I shoot him in the joints until he gets arthritis, and when I hop into his pouch like a baby kangaroo, there was a turret just chilling there, so I immediately started killing my fellow kangaroos. I destroyed the scarab, I activated the cartographer, and now I faced the last group of enemies. In order to beat the mission, you have to kill 11 brutes and 4 jackals, but since I brought 2 turrets with me from the scarab, I had just enough ammo to kill everyone. I used up my first turret on the invisible dudes and some jackals, and if it wasn't for the chieftain's assisted suicide, I wouldn't have had enough ammo to kill them all. So, thank God for gravity. Miranda picks me up, and with that, I beat the mission. My biggest concerns with this mission from the get-go was killing the 5 brutes in the first barrier tower and the other 5 in the second tower, because getting my hands on a turret isn't exactly easy in this mission. Starting out, there's all these enemies here that you can easily ignore, the same way a teacher ignores bullying. Once you hit a checkpoint, it despawns all the enemies, and you can get some much needed vehicles, but, more importantly, expendable comrades. I actually had to turn the difficulty down to normal for this to work, but after we get past the short vehicles section, I had to make sure at least one of my comrades survived, so I could bring them up the tower with me and get them to kill the brutes since I had no way of getting a turret. When we reached the top floor, my boy Tyrone here greeted the brutes the same way a sorcerer would be greeted by the clergy, if the clergy had guns. I deactivated the first tower, and now there's the God-forsaken Hornet section. So I armed my boys with weapons and made them do all the work. There aren't any turrets here either, but I thought of a master plan. You see, when you destroy the AA wraiths, friendly phantoms will chill out in the area, and since I only destroy the AA wraiths and let the other enemies live, they eventually shoot off the friendly phantom's turret. So boom, I get my hands on one just like that. So I hefted that heavy boy into the facility, I ignored all the enemies, hopped on the elevator, and met up with the second group of brutes. Once again, I killed everyone I could see, or in this case, couldn't see. I deactivated the tower, the flood attack, there's another vehicle section, and now we gotta fight some scarabs. But as you already know, these things are teeming with turrets, so all you gotta do is tear one off, shoot it, fly over to the second one, repeat the process, and now we were in the final run of the mission. Of course, since the Flood and I are best friends now, I didn't have to kill anyone, but I did just to speed things up. Some story stuff happens, the Flood betrays us, I run away from the Flood, I jump into a pit, and we beat the 7th mission. I would go deep into detail with these 2 missions, if you can even call them missions, but there are 0 turrets in both of these missions, so boom, summary time. In the mission Cortana, you play through a constant flood of hate, pun intended. Hate directed at Master Chief for being schizophrenic every 2 seconds, hate at Bungie for absolute garbage level design, because fuck you guys, I still get lost in this level to this day, and hate for how unchallenging it is since you don't have to kill anyone to progress through this level. The only thing worth mentioning here is the fact that you have to destroy the generators, so at least there's some silver lining. In exchange for playing a shitty level, in the end you get to totally destroy all traces of that level's existence. 10 out of 10 would blow the shithole up again. The method of doing this is to just stand in front of or behind the generators, and the flood will shoot at you and miss and hit the generator, which will result in the generator blowing up. So it's a lot easier when there's a flood form who has a brute shot. The flood destroys all the generators, we escape, and crash land into mission 9. And since there's no turrets, I have to wait for the Arbiter and Johnson to kill everything as we ascend the tower, while I just exist to be useless. Guilty Spark kills Johnson, so Johnson kills Guilty Spark, I kill Guilty Spark, which results in a fail, I take Cortana and leave Johnson to die. I complete the Warthog run without running over a single enemy, which is very easy to do by the way, and with that I complete the challenge. In the end, there was only one fail at the very end of the game, so I'm happy with the results. Well, consider leaving a like, a comment, and subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next one.